Hello Fern followers, Fern's now 5 months and 2 days old, and I'm just going to do a video today answering a question which somebody left in the comments on one of the videos on YouTube about what food do we train her with, or I think it was what treats do we train her with. Now, before I answer that, I just want to get over the phrase of treat training. I don't really like it. A treat implies that she's not done anything to get it, and we're just giving it to her. And in fact, the dog has to earn it. The dog's not getting it unless she's earned it. However, that's by the by. So what do we use to train her with? We use her food. So she has 2 meal times now, morning and evening. And for both those meal times, we get her food. Hopefully you can see that properly. It's tiny little pieces. There must be 30 there, and there's actually more food than that to come. I've just done that so you can see clearly on the video. And we'll use each one of those to affect a response from the dog. So if I ask her to sit and she sits, she gets the food, she gets the food, she gets the food. That food is raw meat, which we get from our local butchers. It comes in a £1 bag, that's 70p for a bag. And this £1 bag will do both of our dogs for 1 day. We need a little bit extra, so 70p a bag would probably cost 85p between both dogs for a day's feeding of really good quality. I'll zoom in on this at the end for you so you can see, but hopefully you can see that there. So it's the ingredients: lungs 60%, liver 20%, heart 5%, fat 5%, and rusk 10%. So it's all beef, it's not lamb or lamb or pig. That's minced and frozen, and we bring that home. We buy 15 pounds in weight at a time and just freeze it, and then we feed the dogs with that pretty much exclusively. The dogs also have 1 egg each per week, and we give them that with the shell as well. We just break it up in the food and let them eat the shell. And they also have 1 tin of mackerel or sardine or pilchards in brine per week. Apart from that, we chop up hot dog sausages into tiny pieces. Don't know if you can see there. And we use this throughout the day. We just happen to walk past and we leave it handy. We walk past and we ask the dog to do something, and as a reward for her giving us that response, she gets a sausage. With food training or treat training or reward, food as reward, you haven't got to be, but it can be quite tricky in that if you only use food to teach your dogs, sometimes your dog will look to you. You ask a dog to do something, for example, sit. The first thing your dog might do is look at your hand, and if you've got nothing in your hand, it'll think, well, there's nothing in it for me, so I won't do it. And dogs are very clever. Dogs are quite alert when it comes to that kind of thing, so you've got to be 1 step ahead. So what you can do is, when they're young puppies, give them a treat every time, and as they grow older and more efficient at doing what you're asking them, give them one piece of food every other time and a stroke every other time. And as they get older and the training progresses, knock the treats down in frequency, and so the dog's always guessing. So next time you ask the dog, Rover, sit, rather than look at your hand to see if you've got food, he'll think, I'll do it just in case this is one of those chances I'm going to get food. And also, it's worth sometimes keeping the food out your way, out their sight, in a pocket or something, and that way they can't see if you've got it or not, and they're just going to do it, and then you can surprise them with the food. So rather than them preempting, shall I do it or not, you're encouraging them to always do it. With food training, people sometimes have an issue. I didn't like to do it because I was a bit macho and egotistical when I was young, in that I was of the opinion that you don't need food to train a dog. You should tell a dog what to do and it will do it, and that's completely stupid. And food is a tool to help you achieve the goal, and if you don't use that tool when you need it or when it's going to be productive for you, then you're a bit daft. That said, you don't have to always use it. It is a tool. It's not there to be always used. If you can achieve the job without food, then happy days. A lot of stuff with Fern and Darley especially, I didn't use food and don't use food. They're quite happy to have cuddles and strokes and be told that they're doing well. But sometimes food is more effective, especially at moving them around into position and stuff like that. With food, so I've cut these hot dog sausages up into tiny, tiny pieces. If my missus cuts them, she cuts them into massive chunks, because people are sort of have the thought process that it's got to be big to be worth something to a dog. A dog has no concept of big or little, and they don't think bigger is better. That's a completely human concept. If you chop a sausage into 10 pieces, 10 tiny pieces, or 2 big pieces, there's nothing to say the dog will go for the big pieces. And the dog will work just as hard for that as it will for one whole sausage. And if you can make it smellier, the better, because a dog chooses with its nose. Sometimes, if your dog's a bit not receptive to food, if you put it in the microwave and warm it up, don't cook it, just warm it up for 10 seconds to release the smells a little bit more. Your dog's going to be more inclined probably to earn it or to work for it. Another problem or issue people have with food is they think, well, if I use food for training my dog, it's going to put on weight and he's going to get fat. Well, first of all, you're going to have to give the dog a lot of pieces of this to get them fat. And secondly, you just reduce the portion size of the meal down later that day, so you control everything yourself. You're not just giving them the same size meal in the evening and loads of food as reward. You're mixing and matching. So I hope that helps everybody, and we'll get another video to you soon. I'm just going to zoom in on everything here first so you can see. That's all. See you soon.